Welcome to the Dreams of Consciousness podcast. If the two of you would be so kind, would you mind introducing yourselves?
I'm Nestor. I play drums for Escarnium.
And I'm Victor. I'm the guitarist and vocalist of Escarnium.
Nestor and Victor, welcome. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
So let's start with, what is Escarnium? How would you describe the music that you guys make?
Ooh. Go ahead, take this one.
I think I describe as extreme music, like, of course, more on the death metal side of the thing. But we also have some influences from grindcore, crust, black metal, and so on. On the beginning, we were more like with the idea, like, yeah, we want to do this sound like this, and was a little bit more traditional, but we were also younger. And after the time, we developed some other skills and ideas. And then at one moment, we just said, yeah, Escarnium is Escarnium. We play extreme death metal, darknet, death metal, black metal. I don't care about the label of the music, but yeah, it's a death metal band with a lot of dark and extreme influences. Let's put it like this. I think that's fair enough.
Yeah, we pretty much play whatever we want to do, whatever we want to play, but it just happened to be kind of death metal, and that's it. And it will probably continue to be like this, but it's pretty much whatever we want to do.
Do you think atmosphere is an important part of your sound?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Yeah,
we have a lot of it, but it's like we don't get stuck in something like, yeah, everything needs to have atmosphere. It's something that comes natural. But yeah, I think it's a trademark of the band. Like, everybody that listen to or see us playing live, they always say like, wow, that's really massive, also with a lot of atmosphere. And so I think it's a cool combination, because it's not just this kind of boring thing that I go, okay, it's a lot of atmospheric, slow song, but you also have a lot of fast blast beats and skunk beats and stuff. So yeah, atmosphere is important, but it's also that comes naturally. And yeah, I think it's basically that.
And Nestor, as the drummer, would you say that blast beats are an important part of the Escarnium sound?
An important part of the sound. I don't really think that say the blast beats itself is something that is demanded for our music to be what it is. But I think it developed to a place that blast beats is the best way to say whatever I want to say for this kind of stuff. So yeah, it's a hard question. I don't like to say that we need blast beat to do what we do, but it ends up being a good part of our songs. Yes. I mean, there's a lot of ways to do blast beats, right? Because blast beats is pretty much a skank beat but faster. So we can just probably say that we just do skank beats. I don't know. Yeah, maybe the short answer is probably yes, but not intentionally. It's just what it is. We want to do brutal stuff, and blast beats it's just the best way to do it. So yeah.
Sure. And the members of the band are split between Brazil and Germany, right? You have a few members in Germany?
Yeah. But me and the other guitarist, Alex, we live in Germany. He's from US and lives in Germany. And I'm a Brazilian and moved to Germany in 2016. And the other guys, one is in Salvador, is the city that we started in Brazil, and Nestor is in Bauru, state of São Paulo.
Would you guys mind telling me a little bit of the history of Escarnium and what your intentions were, what your goals were when you first started?
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, I said a little bit on the other one. Like, we started around 2008, 2009. At that moment, I didn't have too much intentions with the band. I just wanted to play what I like to play and invited the persons to do it. And yeah, the beginning was like, yeah, let's play old school death metal. That was the main idea, and basically more focus in at the Sweden, Scandinavian death metal or European death metal. Um, but not like Dismember, Entombed, but more like Grave and Old Hypocrisy or Morphis, like the old stuff that they have like really down tuning. And yeah, and that was the beginning. But yeah, then things start to change a little bit. But like, I think at some point when we start to play live, I realized like, wow, that's the thing that I want to do more. And I think since from the beginning, when things start to change, one of the goals were like, okay, we want to play as much as we can, as far away as we can. So, and this feeling still exists. I think we don't have the goal of becoming like the new Crisium or some like, wow, that's we are working hard for B. We just want to play and have fun and play our music and put our feelings on it. So yeah, that's the. I think this is the beginning of the band. Nestor can put some words also if he wants to.
Sorry, Nestor, before I get your
Yeah.
thoughts, Victor, when you say as you wanted to play as far away as you can, do you mean touring? Touring different parts of the
Yeah,
world? Okay.
touring. Yeah, I think a real band. It's playing around. You know, it's quite easy to be at your place playing guitar and practicing from time to time and not going on the road and not touring. And I mean, everybody can do whatever they want, but I think touring is is what bring me alive. You know, and I think this is the fuel that makes us just keep going, because that's the best thing, you know, to meet new persons, see new different cultures, go around, you change the energy on the stage with the people that are enjoying the music. So for me, it's an important thing about the band is to be on the road. That's one of the. I not even like to practice, to be honest. I think it's a pain in the ass to be on the studio rehearsing, but playing live, that's for me is the most important thing. Yeah.
Nestor, as
It's
far
not that
as
we
the
do it that much.
yeah,
I mean,
with the
uh,
members split up between different
yeah,
countries, it's probably difficult right now. But as far as
yeah,
the origins of the band, did you
mhm.
guys, you talked about this, the sound that this early Scandinavian sound. Uh, was that the intention to play this kind of music, or were you guys fairly open-minded as far as what Escarnium could develop into?
Yeah. When I joined the band, I joined pretty early. Like I think the band had like 1 month old, something like this. They tried a guitar, a drummer that eventually became a guitar player because I mean it wasn't really working out. He being a drummer, and when I joined the band, I was told that that was kind of the goal to play simple, straightforward, more like Swedish death metal, like European style. And okay, good. We tried to keep like that for a while, but then we just realized that that wasn't really what kept us going, the intention to do this kind of death metal itself. We actually just wanted to say whatever we want. It was in our heads and play brutal stuff. Oh damn! I guess I locked out my computer. Sorry. Uh, I
I
just
can
hit
I can
the
see you
wrong
and
button.
I can see you and hear you.
Yeah, I will put my keyboard away. uh, So sorry, what was the question again?
No, just in terms of the way that your sound developed, I was curious if going into the early recordings, if you guys felt like you could expand more from that early Swedish old school death metal sound.
Yeah, correct. As I was saying, it started like this, and then in the end of the day, a band is whatever their members brings with them in terms of repertoire. Like I was never the biggest fan of Swedish death metal, to be honest. Just this kind of traditional skunk beat all the time thing, simple riffs. It was never my top of my Spotify list, if I can say it like this. So I tend to bring something more technical to the band in a way. I come from a more how can I say, tablature focused musician, you know.
Yeah.
I learned to play with Guitar Pro. It was my main teacher, my music teacher. So while the guys were more visceral and more, I don't know, how can I say, like old school style, you know. And whenever we were making new songs, I always brought ideas that went a little bit away from whatever the first intention of the bands were, and then it was just natural. We now we are what we are, and I think I can say that we all like it, and we are all happy with what where we ended up as a band.
One thing that I think it's cool to mention is that for a moment I wanted to use the distortion, like heavy metal boss distortion, and I don't know why. We just said, nah, no, let's use what we have, and then like everybody was doing it, and then I was like, okay, it was a good move to not using it, because I think if the music that we do nowadays was with this distortion, I think we'll lose a lot of I don't know what we do, you know. And then was a good move of not using it, but it's an interesting thing. Like when you get the songs from the band, since for the beginning you have like more simple sounds and some simple music, but you ever have some moments of the music that you have some a little bit more gloomy, dark atmosphere? We ever have that, you know? And but the only thing was that it started to get more developed, you know, like I also, as a guitarist, for example, I don't play solos. I'm really bad solo guy. I like riffs. I came from this extreme school of riffing and all the time, and I also had a lot of influence from black metal. When I was a teenager, I was constantly listening like Immortal, like the Pure Holocaust album. So in the nowadays, I use this kind of notes on Escarnium sound, and I think it's a good mix. You know, you still have the death metal, but you have the full chords, and like that makes the big difference in our sound. And on the end, the hard thing to do is to have your own style, and I think we kind of achieve that. That's a cool thing, you know.
Would you say that it's after 15 years or more than me asking for you to using more black metal riffs and stuff in our songs? In the beginning, we were like, hey, why don't you use this dissonant note, like that chord with more fingers, you know? And now we do it, and it's great. Thank you.
Do you feel like your sound, you guys had already approached the sound that people recognize by the time you recorded your first album, Excruciating Existence?
Um, I bet, personally don't like that much of that album because of the production.
Right. Okay.
Um, I think, like, since from the beginning, the people around us always said something like, "Well, when Escarnium is playing, since from the first seconds I know that it's Escarnium," and that's really cool. And I think it's still like this. But I think if you listen to Excruciating Existence and then listen to the new album, you see it's a quite different band, I would say. I mean, it's not like, wow, it's completely different. No, but it's a different band. I would say that.
Yeah, I think we started to develop a kind of closed personality in Interitus. I think from Interitus to nowadays and forward, we had more like a dance vibe on top of our music, I'd say. I don't know, maybe excruciation existence in everything that we did before was a little bit more to the traditional side, not in a simplistic way, but we had less atmospheres and groovy parts, I would say. I don't know. I think it changed a little bit, but from Interitus forward, I think we had our base solidified, as the style of our music.
Okay. When you guys write songs, how does the process usually start? Do you guys start with the riffs? Do you have like a feeling in mind? Do you have like a theme in mind before you start writing?
Um, I think it's more like I mean, in the nowadays, me and Nestor, we both make riffs. Sometimes Nestor bring a riff and show to me, and then I said, okay, let's improve a little bit more, and then we start to do some stuff on it. Or sometimes I bring the riffs and tell to Nestor like, yeah, okay, I thought in this kind of drum, blah blah blah, and then he was like, yeah, okay. Then I think it's basically like that. Like me and Nestor, we bring ideas up and we see it together and see. I mean, not together personally anymore. Most of the time, we are doing like online and send some riffs to him, and then he recorded, and so it's like it's working at the moment. But it's basically that. I think he's always to start from the riffs. The riffs are I think the starting point. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, the lyrics comes not necessarily before or after, but we put everything together after they're both complete. Like, it's not like, okay, I have this lyric and then I want to do this kind of,
Yeah.
of riff because of this lyric. No, they are built separately. We compose the songs, and then maybe what can fit in this song? How can we put the vocals on top of it, and then we see what lyrics would fit the better in that, and then that's usually how we do. We compose things separately, and then we put it together in the best way possible that we think while composing.
Now, with Victor living in Germany, are you guys trading files back and forth?
Yeah,
Mm,
I think WhatsApp is the main tool that we use because sometimes he just I thought of a riff here, and then he plays the guitar, unplugged guitar, which I hate, but whatever, the unplugged guitar, and record on his phone like and then I get the rough idea. I already start thinking about what to do about that. Sometimes I don't even get it because it's a plugged guitar. Uh, but then after a while, that idea is saved, like in our little folder, online folder. Whenever we get together, or maybe he get the option to do it by himself. But whenever we get together, we are like, okay, let's revisit some of those riffs that I sent you, and then I say, okay, let's do, and I have something here as well, and then we build from there.
Nestor, you mentioned that you learned through Guitar Pro. Are you
Yeah.
tapping everything out and uh, doing demos in Guitar Pro?
Not at all. Not at all. Not anymore, I would say. In the beginning, I did it because I was a little bit more stiff in relation to this kind of stuff. But nowadays, I mean, I just hate to do it, to be honest. It was just the best way for me to learn songs in the past. But nowadays, I don't even open it anymore because in the end of the day, when you have to record a song or save an idea, when you don't have a guitar, what can I do? Like in the end, I'm a drummer. I never had a guitar at home. I mean, I do have a guitar right there and another one right there now. But in the past, I didn't have anything. So I had the idea in my mind and I had to save it somehow. So, or I just kind of sing the riff with my mouth in a recorder, or I write on Guitar Pro. So that's why I developed the ability to do that in there. But sometimes when I'm programming drums, because we do it now before we record stuff and after we rehearse some stuff, we record the riffs in a proper way, not in an unplugged recorded by the phone. We record the riff in a computer with some plugins, and I programmed in the drums on top of it. And I still think that writing it in Guitar Pro is easier than on whatever DAW you can use. I don't know. It's just I'm more used to do it like this. So I write the drums in Guitar Pro and then saved in MIDI and upload in the DAW. And yeah, that's the most use I make out of Guitar Pro nowadays. I don't write everything down anymore because it's boring as fuck.
How complete are the arrangements by the time Gabriel and Alex hear the songs? Are they hearing stuff as you guys are developing it, or do they only hear the completed finished arrangements?
I think that the last album, he basically had the final result, like, hey, we did this. Please let me know what you think and make some magic and put your solos on it. We also used some of his ideas as well. He have some riffs and he showed to us, and we in the intention to keep.
That's Alex, you mean?
Yeah,
that's for Alex, not Gabriel.
Yeah. So he also sent the riffs, and yeah, so he got the final, almost final result, I think.
Yeah, one of the songs of the album, because he asked for Gabriel and Alex, and pretty much only for Alex. But one of the songs in the album started from Alex's riff. He sent it to us a long time ago, and we were like, "Hey, there's some potential in here." And then we rebuilt everything together with him, asking him his opinion and stuff in the process. So yeah, in the end, the song's still pretty much his song, but in another roupagem. How can I say this in English? I don't know. In another way, like there's another feeling to add it to the song because we put our magic on top of it. But Gabriel, he suggests some stuff sometimes, but he's not so present in the composition part of the album. He pretty much gives us opinions in whatever we ask, and at the end he used to like whatever we do. So yeah.
Cool. So on the 9th of May, you'll be releasing your 4th album, which is called Inexorable Entropy, through Everlasting Speed Records. And we spoke a little bit about how Victor is now living in Germany and how that's affected your songwriting. Did you go into this album wanting to do anything different from the previous two?
Not intentionally. Not intentionally. It was like we said, like we have the ideas, we want to play like this, and the riffs comes up, the lyrics comes up, and then we just do it. You know, it's not like, I want to do something different. No, it's not like this. Not like for a long time we don't do anything like thinking like, yeah, it needs to be like this. No, we just do it, and then we play it. What we try to do, I think. Some people was telling that I think on the last release, Dysthemia was a little bit more down tempo. That I don't agree. I think it's a quite fast material. But one thing I sometimes was kind of making jokes and kidding with Ness was like, yeah, okay, let's show people that we are still fast. And this album, I think, is straightforward. Like, it's really brutal and extreme, but you still have the down tempo things and the atmosphere. So this was something that I think I wanted to have again. Like, okay, I want to people that uh, listen that we are still into this extreme in way of doing the stuff. Not that we ever stop to do it, but yeah, I think this one was one of the things that was more intentionally like, yeah, let's. But when I say extreme, it's not like thousands of notes per second and this kind of new modern death metal style. It's not like this, but it's more like blast beats, straightforward on your face, you know. But yeah, and then it's a natural process that you start to have new ideas, better ideas, and things are coming up, and then you start to use it. And we don't have like borders for our creativity. If we play something and we think it's cool, and then we use it. Could be a punk rock riff, but if we like it, we like it. Maybe like there is one song that is a little bit progressive part, like 40 seconds of some progressive thing. Some friends was asking me like, is this a blood incantation influence? I was like, no, it's not. I have listened some other stuff on the past, like and some Gorguts, the era that Gorguts got a little bit more technical, and so it's not because some bands are doing this now, but it was an idea that comes for a long time, and I want to use it. So yeah, I think it's basically that how it's going to work with this album.
I think most of whatever people think of this album, how it sounds like and everything, is due to Sergey, the guy that helped in the production of the album and the engineering of the recording part and mix mastering. He helped a lot to make this album sound as good and as brutal as it is. So shout out to Sergey and Voltve Studio. Is that how it sounds?
Valtwerk, yeah.
Yeah.
I do want to talk about Sergey and his contributions to the album. Before we get to the recording, how long were you guys working on this album before you released it, or before you went into the studio and recorded it? When did you guys start working on this?
You know, that's an interesting thing. Like, it also gets a little bit back to the other question when you speak about touring. And like, for a band that the members doesn't live on the same city, we played a lot live. And an interesting thing is that we live far away, but because there was a time that Nestor was not in the band, and then the band kind of stopped completely, like the process, because I always had Nestor with me doing the stuff. And when he was not there anymore, then the band completely stopped. Like we were not doing anything. But then after a little bit after COVID, we started produce, and things are just coming in a quite fast way. Like we released one single through the depths of the 12 gate. I think it was 2022, and then 2023 we had Dystemia or something like that, and then 2024 a new single, and now we have the new album, and we already have like some couple of half songs made. We have some riffs, so it's not that we were like, okay, let's work on the album. It's just coming, you know, it's just appearing, and it's quite interesting for a band that the guys are spread it around. It's really interesting how things are happening. You know, I'm quite happy with this because there are some bands they live together in the same city and they don't produce as we are doing. But it's for us, it's working like this at the moment. Like the ideas are just coming up and we are using it. So for the moment, we did this album, but I am already thinking on the next stuff. You know, I'm thinking on the new songs. I'm thinking it's quite interesting how. So to answer your question, I don't think we had a long time working on this album. It was just like I had the ideas, Nestor had the ideas. We start to build like 1 year before. Then when we have the chance to meet personally, we put all together and then done. The album's there. So Yeah, I think it's a quite efficient way of doing things, taking in consideration the fact that we are far away from each other. But in the nowadays with internet, you are never completely far away for something. Huh? So that's what I go to say. It was not a long process. I think it was quite short actually.
Yeah, it's interesting because sometimes I think that the distance helps a little bit because when we are together, we're like, okay, we are here now. We have this window of time, and we need to make a diamond out of this. So we work as much as we can in that time because it's we gotta use it because sometimes when you're here for I don't know 2 weeks or something, and then you're like, okay, we have 2 weeks. Let's try to make that little riff that we have a song out of that, and then let's try to build something up from the ground. Let's go to the studio, compose something there, and then if we didn't find ourselves in this situation, I think we would be more relaxed, and stuff would take a little bit longer to come up, and we would probably say stuff like, "Okay, I like it, but let's sleep on that a little bit and think more about," and then we would change too much stuff for too long. I don't know. Sometimes I think of it.
Yeah, I
And
think it is
yeah.
when we are personally doing it. There's a lot of brainstorming, so that takes a lot more time. I think. Huh?
Yeah, and we are far apart. We're like, okay, I have this idea. Let's work on that. Okay, we go to the studio. We play that little idea. That from here, let's try a riff, something that do something like this. And then you do it, and I put the drums on top of it. And they're like, I like this. We come to my house. We record it. I program the drums on it, and then we listen that for 1 or 2 days, and then put some details on top of it. We work a little bit of some parts that are more simplistic, and we have the song like that.
When you recorded the album, did you record part of it in Brazil and part of it in Germany? Or Nestor, did you fly to Germany to record your parts?
I don't remember.
Um,
Did I record the drums in here?
to remember is not a good thing for him to remember
Yeah,
about things.
not my strong
He
not my
recorded the
strong part.
drums in Brazil. He
Okay.
recorded
Yeah,
drums in
okay.
Brazil. Then he traveled to Germany. We had the time at Alex place, and then we recorded the guitars and bass. Then the vocals was recorded personally by me at the Walzwerk studio with Sergey. So yeah, I was a little bit in Brazil, a little bit in Germany, a little bit in a couple of places, different places. Yeah.
Was this
Yeah,
the
I
Sorry, go ahead,
recorded it
Nestor.
like that. Yeah, I recorded it in here in September, I guess. I mean, it is on the booklet. I can't remember. But and then 6 months after, we recorded the guitar because we had a tour in Europe, and then we used at that time a little bit of time before the tour to record the guitars and bass, and then a couple months later, Victor recorded the vocals. Yeah.
Was this the first time that you worked with Sergey?
No,
No.
we did before. Was kind of a test. We released one single, Pyrocin's Might, was recorded with Sergey. The idea was to see how it sounds. Like was a test for him and for us to see if both parts are happy with the final result. And from that single, we were deciding if we are doing it with him. Since the beginning, I was quite confident that he will make a good job. And I mean, he's a really talented guy, and I think he has like the proper tools to do it, and he has a really good mind and creativity to do it. So yeah, we first recorded one single with Sergey. So that was the first moment, and then we did the album with him. Yeah, and I think I told him a couple of days ago. I had the chance to be with him personally, and I told him like, man, I think the next one will be also with you. So I think we found the right guy to keep doing it. Not to say that the other guys was bad, but I think it was a good match.
Yep.
What did you want Sergey to bring to the sound of the album? What did you want him to bring in his role as mixing and mastering?
For me personally, one important thing was like I didn't want to sound really crystal and completely modern, like it's clearly a lot of machines on it. So I wanted to have something more natural, something more organic. But at the same time, I didn't want to push to this caveman thing, raw recording. I also didn't want that. So for me, it was basically this. I think what I wanted to achieve with Sergey was this updated sound, not being so modern, so not so plastic. You know what I mean? Also not being so raw, and because I think sometimes it's we have this hypes and trends that people start to do something and then it's just they are going until exhaustion with this. It's like with the heavy metal boss or with the progressive thing or with the caveman or with the techniques and modern way of recording. So I just want something natural. So for me, I can say about this. I don't know about Nestor, but he can say by himself. But for me, it was that.
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't really expect him to do any special thing. I just wanted to sound as natural as possible, but I wanted to hear everything, because sometimes when you say like, okay, let's be raw, uh, you cannot know if there's a bass drum in there or not. The vocals sound like it was recorded in a bathroom. So we just wanted to listen to everything clearly, but naturally.
It
To
seems like,
sound like there are people recording stuff, not just computer.
yeah, it seems like one of the hardest things to record in death metal is the drums. Nestor, what were you looking to capture with your drum performance? What did you want the listeners to hear from your drums in the finished product?
That's a good one because I'm always very happy when people come to me and say, "Hey, in that song, I noticed that you did that thing," and I'm like, "Yes, somebody noticed it," because I'm not a super technical guy. Some people may say I am, but I don't think I am that super technical. But I come from mixed style influence. Like I do not listen only to extreme metal. I love black music in general, like funk, soul, this kind of stuff. I love to do my ghost notes. Love my ghost notes. Not that it's not a metal thing. I think nowadays it is much more like a metal thing. But I love doing my ghost note and my opening closing hi hats with my left foot. And sometimes it's really hard for you to pick that up in the recording, like really hard. But I do it anyway. And sometimes when I'm in the mixing process, I tell to the guy, hey, can you just give a little bump in the ghost note that I do in that part because it was so nice to do it and I like to hear them. But I know that not everyone's gonna listen, is gonna notice it. Most people won't notice most of these details, but it's the stuff that I'm most proud of. I don't care about the super fast double bass or blast beats or 2 minutes fills. I care about the little ghost notes in the background. And when some people get to me and say like, "Hey, I love that little ghost note that you added in that particular part in that particular song," and I'm like, "Yes, thank you. Give me a hug." you know. But
So,
I tend to keep the brutality around, because we're still doing extreme music after all.
yeah. So I'm not sure I 100% understand what ghost notes are. Ghost notes are like a
Okay.
muted kind of like rhythm thing. Is that what it is? Like a softer note that's
Yeah, it is like a software note. Like when you do you play any instruments?
I do, yeah. And I program drums a little bit too.
Okay, so when you, as an example, when you have a normal rock beat like do, ah, ah, you can add some extra snare notes in between every bit, like do ta 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 do ta ta ta. You know, this ta
Okay.
ta, this little this very noticeable notes that fill in the parts. You know,
Okay.
those are ghost notes.
Okay. Cool. So we spoke about how one of your intentions when forming the band was to play as far and as many places as you can. With half the band living in Europe, is that easier now? Do you guys have more opportunities to play Europe?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's an interesting thing because I have a booking agency, and the booking agency was created because of the band, you know. So I started to book stuff for the band, and then I enjoyed to do it, and then I started to do for other bands as well. So because of Escarnium, I created this booking agency, and now this booking agency brings Escarnium a little bit further. So yeah, I know a lot of promoters personally, some festivals, and so this makes a little bit easier, but was a hard work to arrive at this point, you know, because we, since from the beginning, we are really a true do-it-yourself band because everything we have done by ourselves, and especially touring and going on the road and trying to raise funds for this was everything a lot of work. So, and still does a lot of work. But after living so long in Germany and traveling a lot around, it makes easier. So for an underground band, a small band like us, um, we can pay everything by the band itself. You know, that's really cool. We are not more in the position that we need to invest a lot of money and to buy flight tickets and blah blah blah. Basically, almost everything is paid by with the band activities. So, yeah, living in Europe was makes a little bit easier to make things happen. Yeah.
Victor mentioned that he doesn't really like rehearsing. When you guys have a tour booked or shows or festival appearances, things like that, do you guys carve out some time to rehearse together as a band, or do you guys go
Yeah.
straight to the festival? Okay, yeah,
Yeah, we do it, but I mean, some friends of us they got impressed how it works because most of the people I know they will say, yeah, we need a lot of practicing, blah blah blah, and after so many years playing together, we just say, yeah, we have a tour, we need maybe 2 3 rehearsals, we are done. Maybe sometimes we not even have the chance to do it, so we do like two rehearsals before the tour. Of course, that's not the best way. I would love to have more time for it, but it's the way we can do it, you know. So yeah, I mean, I'm thinking to start living back in Brazil, especially because I mean I don't like to be practicing a lot, but I miss this. I miss this band routine to be like 2 times in a month in a practicing room. So I want to. I think I will start to be more in Brazil than in Europe, and the band is one of the reasons, you know. But yeah, we always have some time to practice for sure. Yeah,
And in any way, we do have a good team, so and
yeah,
trust every member that when the time comes, they will be ready because they did their homework. You know? So we just
yeah.
need to rehearse once, just to maybe remember some stuff that other guys do, you know, and make it all sound like a unit. And it's been working. pretty well, I would say.
So the album will be out in May. Do you guys have anything lined up as far as festivals or tours?
We are going to Mexico in May. We are doing a Mexican tour. That's the third time that Escarnium is going to Mexico, and we have a European tour from on the end of November to December. Was not announced yet, but I already booked some shows. But I'm waiting a little bit the album coming out, because once the album is released, I think more people will be interested in it. And so the idea is we're doing this Mexican tour, then we have the European tour by the end of the year. Then we want to do a Brazilian tour in 2026. Not sure when, but we are definitely doing it. And let's see about festivals. We just did last year. We did Obsidian Extreme in Flamen, in Greininger in Poland. We were playing with our friends from Rebellion, and was really nice. Was kind of a dream becoming true. Play on those festivals, but yeah, at the moment I didn't try to achieve no one. I think I will wait a little bit and see. But yeah, I think that's a natural process to get some festivals, and yeah. But I think not before 2026. That's for sure.
So by the time people hear this episode or watch it on YouTube, Inexorable Entropy will be out through Everlasting Spew Records. Victor and Nestor, please tell everyone how they can order the album. What's the best way to get it?
I would say the best way to get it, the best way to get it through our Bandcamp. And to anyone that have any doubts about anything, just email us through scarniumdm@gmail.com, or send us a message on Instagram or Facebook. Mainly Instagram, but we check Facebook from time to time. So yeah, Bandcamp is the best way to buy anything that you might need from Escarnium, or through ourselves in our Instagram page. It's Escarnium.
So when the album is released, the cassette and the CD versions will be out. Will you guys have a vinyl version that's coming out later on in the year?
Yeah, correct. The vinyl pressing takes a little bit longer because of the materials. How can I say that it's running out of material in the world? Like something like this, it's a little bit harder to get the stuff and expensiver, and the pressing wheel is really long, so the LP should take a little bit longer. We are gonna have it released mid-September, October, something like this, the LP. So.
And you mentioned your Instagram page. Is that the best way to get updates on tours and festival appearances and things like that?
Yeah, 100%. Instagram page and Facebook as well, but mainly Instagram page.
Very cool. Is there anything else you guys want to say?
Well, I just want to say thank you for inviting us and for being interested in our music. I would like to say hello to Everlasting Spew Records guys too. We are really happy to work with them. Also, cheers to Sergey that made a good job. And thanks to everyone that is supporting us, everybody that in some way are supporting us, maybe going to the concert, maybe buying a shirt, maybe sharing a post, listening our music. Thank you very, very much for that. So we deeply appreciate that. And yeah, we say it from the heart, it's like, it's not bullshit. We are really grateful for everybody that's supporting us around. So thank you, and yeah, see you on the road.
Special shout out as well to Gil from Cianeto, our Brazilian label.
Oh yeah,
has been with us since I can't even remember. He's always supporting us in every way he can. So thank you, Gil.
Yeah.
Muito obrigado, guys.
Obrigado a você. De nada.